I'm here today with the Executive Director of Bread of Life Ministries, Victoria Abbott. Victoria and her team are responsible for pulling together this tremendous facility right here in Maine's capital city, the Arts House. And Tori's gonna lead us on a tour of the house today.
All right, welcome. Thanks for coming over. This is our living room. As you can see, the house is it's got a homey feel, not industrialized at all. They can come, sit like they're in their own home. Okay. So let's go through the kitchen.
So folks enter in here. This is a place for them to hang out and spend kind of like congregate time together.
Yeah.
Do they cook for themselves or?
Cook for themselves. We have food delivered through our Good Shepherd Food Bank program.
Okay.
So the food will come in and they can cook, have snacks. There's a coffee station and they can all eat together or take it back to their rooms.
How many people will be living here?
Yeah, there'll be 8 men here.
Okay. And they're all in double occupancy rooms that we'll see.
Yeah.
But this is the area that they'll all share together during the day and they can come and go as they please.
Yeah, we wanted to have a nice big kitchen so they can spread out if they need to when they're cooking. And as you'll see, we have a couple different seating areas throughout the space. So.
Well, the kitchen looks awesome. I'm like wondering how I can get this at my house. I like the setup. What's the story here? How did this come to be? Did this get donated or did you have to raise funds to do the build out? What happened?
Yeah, we had to grant and raise funds for this project. But what's pretty interesting is this was a doctor's office. So a lot of these are repurposed from the rooms, yeah.
Saving money and getting it done.
Yeah, new counter. And nothing in this building is level, which is the blessing and the curse of old housing stock in Augusta.
Sure. So this facility is all approved by the Veterans Administration, right, at the federal level. That's a pretty heavy lift.
Yeah, it's a big contract with their phenomenal partners and they're doing great work. VA Maine and VA New England are phenomenal and they just come in and they really want to help these veterans have success in their lives, and so do we. So that's what we're here for.
Great. So a lot of times people are curious, these facilities that people are staying in, are they safe, and accessible and so forth? And this is all up to new standards for life safety codes. I noticed you have a new sprinkler system that was installed. There's quite a bit of things in here to ensure that those veterans who are staying here not only have a roof over their head, but it's a safe place to be.
Very safe. The whole building has been outfitted,
yeah,
which is great.
Nice. Well, let's take a look at the rooms. So we're heading down the hall to look at the bedrooms, but I noticed there's an open space here with this cool American flag. What's going on here?
So this will be another little seating area, and what's really cool is the Maine State Prison and Department of Corrections is offering us their rocking chairs from their wood shop.
Oh yeah, where the folks who are there in the prison make stuff in the woodworking facility there.
Yeah. So they're going to do a metalworking sign for us, and then the 2 rocking chairs.
Awesome.
So there'll just be another seating area for the veterans to come, sit, relax, read a book, or on their electronics.
Yeah, okay, great.
These bunks are great and they're very secure, and it's fun fact, this is the only time these will ever match because we offer here and at our shelter that when they leave, they can take the bedding with them as they go into transitional housing or housing. So they have a start kit kind of ready to go.
So that helps them feel more comfortable when they're making that transition to a new space, that it's not all new stuff and all foreign to them.
Right.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So these chairs are super comfy and it looks like you've got like some games. What's this spot for?
This is called the library and it's very comfy, cozy. It's a little nook that was here already. And we got great deals. Everything's from Martin's. Everything is super.
So you did buy it when you saw it?
I did. I was like, that and that and that. But these actually do recline. They're not plugged in right now. But
that's cool. So folks will be able to sit here, read a book, maybe check out a tablet or play a game with each other.
Yeah, another little quiet space to.
Cool. Feels very homey here. Like a lot of times I think places where people have to go to improve their situation in life feels like sterile, even though that this is an old medical doctor's office.
It was a grocery store when I was a kid.
Yeah, when I was a kid, it was a grocery store. I grew up 2 streets over, yeah. But now it feels really like home. And maybe you want to talk a little bit about like, how does that help with outcomes? Because you have some of the best outcomes in New England in terms of reduction of recidivism, meaning people don't come back to your facility as often as they do at other places where they go to get help. It's my understanding like the national standard is 50% and you are 78% of people don't come back, which is amazing.
I think it speaks volumes to the staff we have here. They're really dedicated to the mission to help people, and also our partners that come in and help at the VA. And just coming to land in a place like this off the street or from a rehab facility, it's calming. I think it's very comfortable here, and a great place to kind of land, let the dust settle, and be like, okay, what are my goals in life, and where do I want to go from here?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I've done a lot of work both at the State House and the legislature on the Housing Committee, and more recently in the task force that was created in our community to help address the issues with unhoused. And I remember one person telling me who had been previously unhoused and has since got into more stable housing and overcome his addiction issues. He's like, man, what makes you feel pretty good when you're sleeping under a bridge when it's 10 degrees is like doing drugs. And it's true.
Escaping.
Like, yeah, you escape the harsh reality that you're living in, which is terrible. And it seems like this is an area where, when properly managed with your staff, to make sure people are kind of like getting along, because that I'm sure is a thing, that people can just kind of feel at home here and focus on their well-being if it's what they want to do.
Right, a lot of times people come in fight or flight, and if you've been in fight or flight and your cortisol levels are raised, it's the science behind healing. And if you've been in that for years or since childhood or since you were deployed, it's hard to relax and get to a place mentally and physically to accept help and to dig deep into what you want to do and why you do the behaviors you do and how to get over them.
I think a lot of people don't realize that mental health issues, a lot of them stem from experiences that occurred for veterans that caused PTSD. And so their brain chemistry is just different than yours and ours. And we have problems too. Hey, like who doesn't? But at the same time, like the level of acuteness that they are facing is more severe than many among our population. And everyone drives down the road and sees this and they're like, well, what's that person's problem? How come they're doing this? And a lot of times the root of it is like a mental health issue.
Oh, completely. And whenever I get asked to speak anywhere or talk about, what we do at Bread of Life, it's have some grace. You don't know that journey and where they are or what happened or what was their tipping point. Nobody wants to be on the street. Nobody wants to be under the bridge with a needle or with a bottle. Nobody wants that. But they've gotten to a place where they've burned bridges or the trauma won't let them sober up. And that's okay because we're here for them. And the VA is here for them and we're gonna help.
That's awesome. So we just saw the bedrooms and the awesome library. That was a great place to sit for a moment. But you also have on-site staff here who are really focused on helping people. This isn't just like a hotel, somebody checks in and like, we hope it works out for you, good luck, right?
Right, this is not a locked facility. There's staff 24/7 and we have case management right on site every day. Well, 5 days a week.
A lot of times I hear that, like a reason why folks often don't get better is they don't have intensive enough case management, because people sometimes struggle with just the logistics of managing life. That who's normal? No one's normal, but what some might say is normal people don't struggle with some of these things, like making doctor's appointments or ensuring that
making and keeping doctor's appointments are hard, but
getting to them.
Yeah, we'll have a computer lab for telehealth opportunities, and the case managers really create relationships with folks in the program to say, you've got to make this, you've got to hit this appointment, you've got to hit this marker, don't forget you have this today. And having somebody rooting for you on your team, isn't that what we all want?
Yeah, for sure. They feel like they're part of a community as opposed to just by themselves. I love all the American flags everywhere, by the way. Great art selections. And in here, there's a telehealth room so folks can make their appointments virtually.
Yep, there'll be a computer lab in here, and this does have a door that shuts, but it also, a few folks want to be in there at the same time, or if they need privacy.
Well, Tori, this has been a great tour of a wonderful facility that we're lucky to have right here in Maine's capital city. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, no one wants to see anyone unhoused, and certainly those who signed up to sacrifice for our country. Having that highest rate in the United States is only going to be changed by doing this kind of work. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming.